Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking about you and your business. I have really been looking forward to this interview. I've been talking about it now for a few weeks, and we finally got them on. American Heritage Education Foundation, great group, and we've got a couple of the founders of the organization, and all of these are leaders of the organization. We're going to actually devote 2 segments, and the listener knows we don't do that often on the program. I try to get a lot of different things in a short period of time, and so something special when we do 2 segments, and this certainly is. And so we've got Mike Owens, who is the AHEF Director of Education, and Jack Camrath, and he is a co-founder and president, and Angela Camrath, and she's vice president and project coordinator, and the author of The Miracle of America, which I have not finished. I've been bouncing around both books quite a bit, but they're phenomenal, and they're so well documented, and they're so right, and they're so correct. And I really was emotionally kind of choked up looking at it because this kind of information is simply not out there, and it's becoming harder and harder to find. And let me tell you, it's harder and harder to find by design, not by accident. And so I wanted to get these folks on to talk about it. We're going to start off the first segment, though, with Mike and Jack, and they're going to talk about the K through 12 program. But Jack, Mike, you mentioned the elevator speech. Why don't you start with giving us that?
Kevin, thanks for having us on the program. It's a well-documented fact that our schools from K through college are failing to teach our students and our future citizens what the actual factual founding principles, ideas, and ideals of America are. And part of the problem are inadequate textbooks. And so one of the things that we did at the foundation when we started was to design, write, produce, and distribute a K through 12 program which fills that gap of textbooks that don't teach our founding principles anymore. We've been very successful with that. We've reached about 140,000 teachers in all 50 states. They teach an average of about 16 to 18 students each. So that's about 2.5 million students that we have reached with this program. And it has been, it meets all social studies, national and Texas social studies standards. And Mike will tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah. How many people did you say?
About 2,500,000 students.
2,500,000 students. And that is obviously both college and high.
That's all K through 12.
K through 12.
We give it out to, and it's free. We give it out to teachers, families, and students free of charge in DVD format. If they'll just contact us, and then we poll these teachers every year and ask them get some feedback from them and how many students they've taught that year, and it averages out to about 17 students per teacher.
17,
which equates to about 2.5 million students.
Yeah, those are phenomenal numbers. Awesome, and talk a little bit about that curriculum, Jack. Yes.
Mike.
I'm sorry, I got you guys backwards.
There you did.
Yeah, I do that all the time. But no, I really don't. Okay, Mike, tell us about that.
We look the same on the radio. So that's we have an elementary, a middle, and a high school curriculum, and it's supplemental. And I guess our real focus is looking at the original source documents, going back and looking at the Constitution, looking at the Declaration of Independence, looking at those products. And we have a set of lessons available for teachers that they can turn around and pick and choose and deal with them. They're also all available online now on the website and that's where they go.
Yeah, and that website, which one? American Heritage or Miracle of America? Which one?
AmericanHeritage.org.
AmericanHeritage.org. And by the way, I know one of the things everyone's going to ask is it's kind of like kicking tires, right? When you buy a car, what is your background academically?
Right. A public school teacher, and I worked in the Texas public schools all my life. I worked for the Texas Education Agency. I'm a former bureaucrat and worked for the Regional Service Center.
Recovering bureaucrat.
Recovering,
yeah.
And was a school superintendent. So a lot of experience. Also did some university teaching here at HBU, at St. Thomas, at Texas A&M.
Yeah. What are your academic credentials?
I have a bachelor's, master's, and doctor's degree, and the doctor's degree is in educational statistics.
You have a degree in history in there?
Nope.
No degree in history. All right, just for clarity's sake. Not that that's required, but people I'm sure would like to know. Talk a little bit about how you are reaching out to these schools.
We basically two ways. One is providing the free curriculum, both online and printed copies, and then teacher training. So those are two things that we do. We've got a little teacher advisory group that comes in and looks at those curriculum, and also they serve as a resource to go the multiplier of teachers teaching other teachers.
Yeah, teachers teaching other teachers is really good. Talk a little bit about, first of all, what are those, I guess you could say, seminars, or how are you teaching them? How are you teaching the teachers?
Right. We do in-service workshops, training workshops. Texas
like
teachers.
At schools?
Generally, after school, weekends and whatnot, Texas requires public school teachers to have so many hours each year.
Like continued education.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so we're a part of that. We're approved by the state. We have a number to give teachers for.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Texas is probably one of the only states that would let you do this. Honestly, yep. I mean, I'm impressed that they still let you do that. You need to keep fighting for that, because obviously that's crucial. What kind of venues are you doing these workshops, these seminars?
The trainings are done in a variety of places. Part of our offices, at schools, at conference centers. Texas has something called Regional Education Service Centers.
Right.
There's one here in Houston, and
those things are massive.
I used to work for that. For the one here in Houston years ago, and we've done training there in the past. Where the teachers are is where we are.
Yeah.
So wherever that is, we can accumulate them, then we'll provide something.
How many of those do you do a year?
It varies every year. Some years it's very few, 5 or 10. Some years it's a lot, 20 or 30.
Okay. And how do you begin the engagement to be able to do those? And how important are those on your pecking order of priorities?
It's important. The curriculum's the most important piece. So once teachers are aware of it and see that curriculum, a lot of times they ask, and so we'll come and provide some training. But the curriculum is really self-contained, and the training then follows up underneath that.
Okay, and people are really obviously getting that curriculum. How many DVDs have you sent out?
It's been right at 140,000, Kevin. And
wow.
the way we get the word out, we used to go to conferences and conventions, educational conventions, and rent a booth and ask people, please stop by and talk to us. But we found out for the price of that, roughly $2,000 or $3,000, we can go on internet websites, educational websites, and advertise the curriculum and cover a lot more ground. And that's been our primary method throughout the entire United States, to let people know about the curriculum and our foundation, so that they can go directly to our website. They can download it free off the website, or they can contact us and we'll send them the DVD.
Seems like a lot of teachers still probably go to church. Do any churches help you?
We haven't been that active in churches, but we hope to become more active in church groups through the Miracle of America book, which Angela has written, because it connects America's founding principles with our Judeo-Christian principles.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike Owens. Thanks for being with us this segment. Enjoyed learning about what you're doing at K-12. Keep up that great work. And we're going to be talking to Angela Camerath here in just a moment. She's going to talk about what's happening on the college front. And Jack, you're going to continue with us as well.
I'd love to.
All right. When we come back, much more for you right here on The Price of Business.
You know I need someone help. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in